How's it going, everybody? It's Tactard Ted. It is Friday. Absolutely Friday. Friday the 14th of October. How is everybody doing? Are you waiting on the weekend? I know I am. Lots of things to do this weekend. Trying to get ready because winter is coming. Trying to get everything battened down, taken care of. Get the final yard cleaning done. Getting the wood prepared, and yes, I recycle. I cut up pallets and I burn them. This is how I recycle. I help use them to heat my home. Who needs kindling when you have dry pallets to burn? Anyhow, I will be nice and warm this winter, unlike the majority of Europe. So, what is on my mind today? Well, there are a few things coming down the pike. Bad news for the Ukrainians, bad news for the Russians. The bad news for the Ukrainians is biting your nose off despite your face has consequences. And Elon Musk has decided that he and SpaceX are no longer going to foot the bill for Starlink. Yes, Starlink, that amazing, incredible internet that he has been supplying to the Kiev regime. I think a lot of this has to do with when Elon Musk dared to tell Zelensky that he probably ought to look to achieve some sort of a peace settlement, maybe even allow the referendums to be redone under UN observation. Zelensky branded him an enemy of the state. In fact, he's so much an enemy of the state, he made that famous Peacemakers kill list website that the Ukrainians maintain. Oh, you didn't know about that? You might want to research that, because kill list, that's something we do in the... No, we don't do that. We don't do that in the United States. Who does that? Terrorists do that. Holy shit. You mean terrorists have kill list? No surprise to a lot of us that have been paying attention. So anyhow, SpaceX and Elon Musk said they can no longer pay for it. They've asked the Pentagon to pay for it. I don't know whether the Pentagon's going to fit the bill for that. They're too busy depleting our weapon stocks to Ukraine to really care much about internet. This is going to cause some problems for Ukrainian troops in the field. It's also going to get Zelensky a little bit out of touch because the Russians are totally wiping out the infrastructure. Way I figure we've got at least 2 more days of this where they are going to be missiling the living daylights out of Ukrainian infrastructure, possibly more. And then I look for there to be a shift. Now, I may be trying to negate the bad news for the Russians, which is coming, thinking that the Ukrainians can shift from infrastructure to the battlefield. But if I were a betting man and I was to bet about the new General Armageddon, who Surovikin, his nickname in the Russian army is the Cannibal. The Cannibal, which I thought's a little funny. Here in the West, they call him General Armageddon, whatever. He's very much about overpowering. He's not so much about pinpoint strikes. He's go big or go home. And if I were him, or let's put it this way, the thing that makes sense to me in my mindset is there's an immediate place that probably really ought to have his full attention, and that would be the Kherson region. Because according to Russian operatives operating out of Mykolaiv, large convoys of Ukrainian troops are heading towards the Kherson region. And it's believed that there amassed about 60,000 troops opposite the Russian areas in Kherson, and are planning to storm and recapture the city before winter. And the main thing is that they want to push the Russian bridgehead out of Kherson. Now, here's the problem with that. This isn't going to be easy. This is literally the first city that the Russian army liberated, and they've had the longest period of time there. I do believe, though, the Russians aren't going to give this up easily. And I believe that the 60,000 troops that they have amassed are going to attempt to storm the area. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. If I was General Armageddon, I think that I would start targeting those troop formations and targeting the convoys that are coming in. Now, I can't say that he's not doing that. I can't say that he is doing that. That's what I would do. That's what makes sense to me. And it seems to me that he is a very rational guy who intends to win. So we'll see what goes on with that. I will tell you, if the Ukrainians do manage to capture Kherson City, that's going to be not just a major setback, but a major embarrassment to the Russians. So let's see how that plays out. Right now, it's so foggy, I don't even want to make a prediction, because I keep hearing about how the Russians are depleted in that area, how they've depleted their forces, moved them elsewhere. But I also know that the great Ukrainian counteroffenses in that area, those guys took heavy casualties for a little bit of non-populated territory that they have taken. So we'll see. We'll see how bad the attrition rates are. We'll also see if any of the mobilized guys start showing up. Now, that's the deal with the mobilization. We're less than a month into it. You would imagine that any of these mobilized troops, it would take about a month to get trained. So I don't think you're really going to see any of these mobilized forces start showing up prior to the beginning of November. Now, if the Ukrainians have 60,000 troops piled onto that border, I don't think they're going to wait till November. Although very well they may, because they want to make sure that the ground is good and frozen. Haven't been paying much attention to the weather forecast to see how much rain is happening there and how nasty, muddy, and shitty the roads have turned out to be. But keep your eye on that. Other than that, there's not just tons of stuff going on, folks. I mean, we're watching the EU rapidly, and I know you guys are getting tired of hearing this, we're watching the EU rapidly erode. The Turks have now agreed to become a major gas hub in Europe. So it's going to be a presto changeo sleight of hand thing. The Turks are going to get their gas from Russia. They're going to turn around and sell it to the EU. The Russians are going to make money. The Turks are going to make money. And Europe will still be burning Russian gas. Why? Don't ask me why. It's all silly games. Let's face it. Let's put this in manly perspective. Okay? You're married, right? You argue with your wife and you get mad at your wife. Well, she sanctions her womanly affections, so to speak. And it's okay. You get mad. You decide you're going to go look for your womanly affection elsewhere. That's just going to make the wife, your primary supplier, more upset and less likely to do business with you. And she has talked to everyone else, OPEC Plus, and they decide they're not going to show you any womanly affection either. So effectively, over an argument, over a pissing match, you've cut yourself off from a womanly affection. Now, replace wife with Russia, replace womanly affection with energy, and you got a good idea of what's happening. Now, most guys will avoid arguing from their wife because they don't want that supply to be diminished. And I hate to go crude, guys. I really do, but this is life. You learn to get along, and everything's a trade-off. And oh, you're evil. You're a man. You're trivializing womanly affection. Hey, dude, I know it's life. It's what it is. Whatever you have that somebody else wants, and you can ration it out. You can put a close off the tap on it. Is your bargaining chip. And don't tell me it isn't. I know lots of women, they get their houses painted, they get this, they get that because of holding out on that commodity. So that's really what's going on here, guys. You piss Russia off. Russia's closing off the tap, and you're making it more difficult to do business with Russia. Not my problem. Not exactly the road that I would have chose to go down. But then again, I got a little bit of common sense about me. So really, that's all I got. This is a quick hit. We're only talking about 12 minutes. Maybe it makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. I've got to ride into work for my Friday evening, listening to Sabaton and just taking it easy, guys. So hopefully everybody has a good weekend. And guys, don't get in an argument with your wife. It's not good for your supply of womanly affection. And that's about it. So y'all take care. Have a good weekend. Hopefully I won't have anything to bug you guys about over the weekend. Hopefully you won't see me till sometime on Monday. Take care. Bye.